punks. These knock knock. Who's there?
Rachel Gentile.
The longer she was questioned, the more agitated the teen witness appeared.
Maybe if he decided to assault George Zimmerman, he didn't want you to know about it.
That's a little retarded, sir.
And around that time, he kind of cut me off and he says, "Just tell her I shot someone."
Jurors ended the week on day 5, hearing from the only eyewitness to the struggles. He saw 2 people on the ground. The person on top was wearing darker clothes. It contradicts the testimony of 2 key witnesses for the state.
All I could think about was when he was hitting my head against it, felt like my head was going to explode.
And where from what bushes does he jump out?
It was somewhere around here.
Either he was telling the truth or he was a complete pathological liar.
Are the injuries to the back of the defendant's head consistent with having been repeatedly slammed into a concrete surface?
No.
Emotional testimony from Trayvon Martin's mother this morning.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
And who do you recognize that to be, ma'am?
Trayvon Benjamin Martin.
And whose voice was that?
My son, George.
Zimmerman gave a statement to the police. He said, "This does not even sound like me." Then you heard witness after witness, "Oh, this sounds just like George."
Can you describe to your jury what was going through your mind when you were listening to that?
I was listening to my son's last cry for help.
Tempers are hot. Attorneys argue over the use of an animated reenactment.
Were you aware that the defendant described to his best friend that when he slid down, the defendant slid down, that Trayvon Martin was up around his armpits?
No, I've not heard that. No, sir.
Okay, well, where would the gun be now?
I think it's going to be very difficult for this jury to find second-degree murder, intentional murder, murder with hate. That is going to be very tough. But the lesser included offense of manslaughter seems to fit these facts a lot better. And O'Meara knows, even if the jury doesn't know, that George Zimmerman could spend decades in prison.
The attorneys will now present their final arguments.
He is dead because another man made assumptions.
How many could-have-beens have you heard from the state in this case?
Please be seated. Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict? If you'll please fold the verdict form and hand it to Deputy Jarvis. Okay, if you'll please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 18th Judicial Circuit in and for Seminole County, Florida, State of Florida versus George Zimmerman. Verdict: we, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty. So say we all four-person.
I wanted to be a part of a historical event. You know, I know that there has been just so much attention to the case, and you know, we just wanted to be here to support the Martin family and hope for justice.
Do you believe justice was served tonight?
I believe that there's a family whose heart is broken, who probably feels that once again the system has failed them. On the other hand, you know, we've been praying for both families, that because we know that it has been just a hard time for everybody that's been involved. But as far as justice, personally, I think that the system failed the Martin family.
You brought your son with you tonight. Why was it important for you to do that?
Because I wanted my son to understand just what happened. He had questions. They had been talking about this with some of his friends even last year at school. And, you know, and I'm a father. I have a son who's African American, and you know, I couldn't just imagine what Trayvon Martin's father feels like. Yes, you can.
What do you think about all this?
I think that they did the right thing. I think that he should have went to jail.
Why was this case important to you?
Because I wanted to be a part of I wanted to be a part of this, and I wanted justice.